Hello everyone, good afternoon. Speaking is Titus Haiduwa. I am joining you from the University of Namibia, Windhoek. I am the lead author for the research article titled Enhancing Parent-Teacher Communication through USSD-Based Services amid COVID-19 lockdown. As the lead author, I and 3 co-authors will be available for questions at the end of this presentation. Well, without wasting time, let us dive into our discussion for the application of USSD in education, particularly in the Namibian context. All right, but before my official presentation, I will assume that your first question is, what is USSD? So USSD can be broadly defined as an unstructured supplemental service data that uses specific codes to deliver or retrieve content using communication protocol that are mostly used within global system for mobile communication, were known as GSM. All right, so what led to the research? Well, before the outbreak of COVID-19, a SARS-related coronavirus in Wuhan, China, back in 2019, around December day. So we were already having a full proposal on experimenting USSD at one of Namibia's primary schools, particularly the 5-rand primary school situated in Okahanja town in Onjonjonjupa region. So indeed, when coronavirus became a reality in Namibia around 13 to 14 March day in 2020, certain issues arose, and as a consequence, the Ministry of Health and Social Services in Namibia actually implemented, as requested by or as recommended by World Health Organization, it actually implemented lockdown, and this actually led to the closing of all schools and prohibitions of physical contact. That's now what we call social distancing. So in order to respond to this challenge, as researchers, we tried to actually put our ideas into practice, and that led to the research of this project. Well, what motivated us is that there was some kind of havoc among parents, and also a big divide in the interaction between teachers, parents, and teachers. Teachers were so worried that they are no longer able to deliver education to learners, and at the same time, parents were also not sure when will the outbreak end. Therefore, it affected many, including learners. Well, there was also a lack of real-time information about the learners' progress in school. So basically now, when schools resorted to actually giving out assignment to parents, still learners were not getting their feedback on time. So that motivated our work. Technology and problem solving, of course, was one of the reasons why we carried out this research. Now, what was the aim of this research? The aim of this research was to actually design a USSD-based services that will allow parents to request and possibly view notices as sent by the schools, and learners' performance, of course, in specific subjects, and some few comments by school teachers to learners. All right. Secondly, we further wanted to investigate and discuss how USSD can actually be applied in education, particularly enhancing remote learning, and of course increasing collaboration and improving education in general, primarily in areas that are actually characterized by poor facilities, such as the 5-rand primary school. We also wanted to close the gap in the interaction between teachers and learners due to the coronavirus pandemic. So, in our research approach, we have used qualitative and quantitative research methodology, whereby we carried out some research by actually referring to available literature. And of course, we also wanted to validate our results, hence also involving some kind of quantitative research within our work. So basically, that gave us an opportunity to learn more from secondary information and primary information as disseminated by the participants. Our research design actually is a case study with an experimental research design. In this regard, we have used 5-rand primary school as a case study. In terms of the experimental, we have actually came up with a USSD system that was concurrently working together with a web-based applications. Data collection tools involved online surveys, whereby we have used a Microsoft form to actually gather data from specific groups. And we have also done some kind of virtual interviews with the school management, all right, through phone calls, and later on resorted to Zoom, all right. So now, in terms of population and sampling, our target audience were basically teachers that were working at 5-rand primary school, as well as parents. So at this point in time, we didn't really consider students because we assume that they are represented by their parents. In terms of sampling techniques, we have actually applied stratified random sampling first, and then later on we have used symbol random sampling technique. Reason being, we wanted to group our target audience into small manageable groups. That's why we applied stratified random sampling. In this case, we have grouped our target into parents and then teachers. After that, within these stratas, we have applied symbol random sampling so that we can basically give an equal opportunity for all teachers or parents a chance to be selected to participate in this study. So in terms of data analysis, however, we have actually used some kind of distributive analysis of demographic challenges, school expectations, and perspectives of parents on the proposed solutions. So we have used some mostly software packages such as Excel to actually get aggregates or statistics, of the data collected during the research. Major outcomes, we have actually came to conclusion that the total number of participants were 30, and out of those, we were having 11 males, and then of course 19 female. So the proportional distribution was that, by coincidence, teachers were basically 15, and then parents at the same time also ended to be 15. So around 53% of the teachers were female, and then 74 or 47, were actually male. Around 73% of the parents were female, and then 26 were male. All right. So the responses actually came to show that around 64%, or the majority, were in support of our prototype. So they have also agreed that USSD application in education could help improve parent engagement in learners' education. So in our research, we have also found that business benefit of USSD application education involves, or not limited to, actually improved communication, but it could also enhance collaboration. All right? It could also give us timely information about our learners, and of course, it has also ensured health or safety for all, provided that we are dealing with coronavirus. All right? So below are some of the evaluation results of our project. So about the literature, of course, we have a gap in knowledge. Currently in Namibia, USSD is only used in value-added services. Likely, they are used by mobile operators such as MTC and Telecom, and of course, Namibian banks. So we have also realized that there is relatively no studies or low number of studies on the application of USSD in education, particularly in the Namibian context. However, similar projects have been actually experimented in other countries such as Kenya, Uganda, and Nigeria. But they are actually used in different scenarios. For instance, in Kenya, there was a shortage of textbooks, and of course they were also seems to be expensive, and of course there was also some kind of crowding in classrooms. So a USSD gateway has been indeed used in education, whereby it was used as a mobile platform to distribute content for learners to learn in primary schools. So another study was also done by Roberto, nursery school in Hoima, Uganda. So in this case, they have used it as a helpline, whereby one can request test results, report a case, and of course deliver some safety tips. Similarly, MTN in Uganda used also uses to enable students to request primary information or revision questions, using their parents' or guardians' cell phones. So what technology did we use? In terms of a web application that we have developed, we have used mostly readily available IDE, Integrated Development Environment, text editors such as Notepad++, and some others also, such as Adobe and all that products. And we have also used some kind of database, specifically SQL, that was actually done through the use of XAMPP. And we have also used web servers, that's now the Tomcat in particular. And other scripting languages include HTML5 and JSP, and of course cascading styles to actually arrange our stuff, and of course also to change and regulate the behavior of certain scripts on our web pages. Now, in terms of the USSD system, we have used a simulator that's now provided by Africa's Talking API, and the deployment and testing was firstly done on our local machines and later on deployed onto Hello Cloud platform as a service. And in particular, our services was running on a USSD code or a future code, which is now the star 384 and star 95010 7#. All right. So here are some of the few screenshots of our products. The first one in place is the screenshot of the website developed, whereby the teachers manage all the student information, and working together with the USSD system is elaborated below. We have to retrieve information from the web-based application. So now, in terms of the USSD, it actually allows the transfer of information between the mobile phone and the web application. So it actually used existing global system, for mobile communications, and it's kind of a session based, which means if time elapses without actually interacting with the system, so it will normally reset back to the beginning, or it will request you to actually start over again. Now, in conclusion, we can proudly say that our prototype project was completed successfully, and the service has actually also demonstrated robustness, affordability, timely information delivery, convenient and reliability in terms of mobile services. All right, so we have also come to the conclusion that USSD can actually enhance customer engagement, in this case our parents, and improve, of course, service delivery, that's now education, regardless of the device that you are using or the connection that you may have. All right, so the lesson learned from this case study is that in Namibia there are challenges of implementing USSD services due to the reason that most of the mobile operators, their prices are mostly high, and at some point I can say are unaffordable. And of course, there is also a lack of infrastructure, specifically USSD gateways. All right, so the result, of course, from the correspondent have actually indicated that the results were not that much, so we cannot really generalize to all Namibian schools. So it's actually confined to a specific school, in particular 5-rand primary school. So expert recommendation were that since there is limited security within USSD applications, developers have actually to implement security using existing security mechanisms such as VPN services, to ensure that information in transit and destinations are secured. All right, so the future work of this project is that we want to incorporate some kind of intelligence within the system to ensure that we are actually having a sustainable product. So that's the end of today's presentation. So here are some of the few references, and we will be available for questions as promised in the beginning. Thank you.